you very much. And I'm Minister for Corporate Responsibility after the Prime Minister launched the Every Business Commits programme last year. And he asked me to take on responsibilities. And I'm also the Big Society Minister, which means I must be terribly, terribly important. But these two agendas come together, and the department and the government is very much behind them. I think it's important to say thank you to all the people who've worked so hard over the years, because this isn't a new agenda. The more you look at social responsibility, and indeed the big society, this has been happening actually down the decades. So we may have new labels for it, but I think the purpose of an initiative behind big society, and indeed the work the APPG is doing, the work that BITC is doing, is to try to see if we can take this to another level, if we can build on the success. And we've already seen some real advances. I think Fujitsu's contribution is really welcome, so thank you very much for that. I've always wanted to know what a cloud is, so I'm obviously going to be educated through you, so thank you very much for that. But I also want to pay tribute to business and community, who've led so much of this agenda. And in our discussions with business and community, it became very clear that if we were going to make more of this, we needed these things called business connectors. We need people out there in the community who could bring businesses in the localities, in our local constituencies, our local communities, to bring them together. People who could make it happen, sort of glue, if you like. So that initiative, which is being increasingly supported by members of the BITC, I think is really welcome. You'll hear a lot more about that by people who know a lot more about it than I do later on in this meeting. But one of the things that we've been focusing on, and increasingly focusing on through our work on business commits, is the need to get the SME sector involved. BITC is brilliant, and some of our largest companies are really leading the way. But we know in our communities a lot of work is already happening in the small business community, whether it's their membership of everything from Rotaract or Rotary to all those other organisations that have been going for many years. But in many ways, we now, in our modern age, need to reinvent those ideas, and reinvigorate those ideas. And I hope the work that BITC is doing with the Every Business Commits model will help do that, reach out to the small business community. And I hope Business Connectors will be a key part of that. And I see that in two ways. First of all, large businesses working within the business community, within their supply chain, to help other businesses. I think that's part of Every Business Commits. Larger companies are helping smaller companies. I'll give you one example that's come up in one of our meetings. Large companies can afford, in their HR departments, things like occupational therapists. Small businesses will never be able to afford occupational therapists. Maybe there is some way, through some capital call payments, that those resources can be shared within the wider business community in an area. Larger business reaching out to their supply chains, but also the business in their communities. And I think one can think of many other examples of sharing resources. But it's also to get over to small businesses that this is something that's really coming in their interests and also have real benefits for their presence and of course their staff. So I think this is an exciting agenda. If we can get more and more businesses, large and small, engaged, I think it can make a real difference and deliver on the 21st century big society. Thank you very much.